All right, guys. So this is our Monday motivational Zoom, and I'm going to tell you, Kaylie and Katie are both amazing. And I know that Katie's been writing notes, and I know Kaylie is just ready to go. And you guys, I'm going to tell you what. And yes, this will be recorded. I know people always ask if it's going to be recorded, and it's absolutely going to be recorded. However, I don't stay up late. I go to bed, so I will be, without a shadow of a doubt, not recording it tonight or not uploading it tonight. But I'll put it in the event page, and I'll put it in the Dream Team 2020 tomorrow. And it's always, you can always find it on my YouTube channel as well, because I always upload it there. So anyways, you guys, so we had an amazing guest last week. We were going to talk to Kaylie about, the weekend when we had the event in Syracuse, which I know a lot of you guys got to go to Toledo this past weekend. You guys, I want you to know there's something magical that happens when you get to these events. And it's so much more than just getting there and learning. It's literally being in a room with other people and just like that belief that you have when you walk out the door, that feeling of community, being together. I can tell you, it's like it meant a lot for me, for my daughters to get to go with me, and just to get to spend that time with everybody. But what I have noticed, and what we are planning to do, Lavelle, not just me, but Lavelle and different leaders throughout Lavelle, is that we're going to be planning a lot more of these kind of gatherings, a lot more trainings, a lot more of this more intimate setting. I know they're working on a Calgary get together. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend it because it falls on my husband's birthday and he would kill me because it's his 40th. So I won't be able to attend that one, but we'll be traveling around. I know they've got some different ones in the works. With that said, listen, and please don't take this wrong, guys, when I say this, but some of you guys are like, oh, you need to get to my city. You need to get to my town, but then you don't bring anybody. Like, no, that's not how we roll. Okay. We got to go where there's mass amounts of people. And listen, it was a 7-hour drive for me to drive to New York to do the event, a 7-hour drive with my kids in a snowstorm. Okay. So I want you guys to understand something. You're going to have to suck it up, Buttercup, and go for a road trip for some of these events. Okay. I know that we had Shannon Meltzer drove 15 hours, guys. 15 hours from Wisconsin. So here's the thing. You need your cup filled. Get to one of these gatherings, right? Make a trip of it. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Grab a hotel room for the night, pack in. I'm not sure if Megan Rob's on right now, but she freaking even packed a crock pot and like put cracked chicken and all kinds of like cutest little girl, let me tell you. And then we went to a restaurant and we didn't even eat the cracked chicken. And then my car, like I think my car got broke into or something, and at the anyways, I'm gonna get off subject. But my point is that there's always adventures and there's always tales and there's always things that just make you feel like it's more like a family, right? So like one of the biggest things with this training that we had is that we found out through this training and Toledo training is that a lot of it came down to consistency, time management, mindset. Mindset was huge. There was a lot of relationship stuff too, between husband and wives, girlfriends, fiancés, or whatever. And I'm going to tell you all, just like I said at the Syracuse event, put down your damn phones and listen to your significant others. Have a conversation with them. Express your goals. Listen, I can't fix if your significant other's an asshole. Excuse my language. I can't fix if he's a douchebag and a narcissist. I can't fix that. You can't fix that. Quit trying, okay? But you can have I'm talking about healthy relationships here. You can have solid conversations with people and you can express each other's goals to each other. And, you should be spending time with each other. Like, I'll be honest with you. I used to work clear up until 3 o'clock in the morning and my husband got none of my time. All right. None of my time. Now I go to bed. I go to bed because what I was finding is I wasn't productive. And what we're finding is a lot of other people, they don't know how to have those conversations with their spouses. Like, you got to give a little to get a little, right? So, talk to them about what your goals are, that it's important to you, that it's not something silly. But quit wasting time on Facebook. Quit wasting time just scrolling and not working. Like, use your time make sure you're making a list for yourself and you're getting that stuff done, and you're not just sitting there twiddling around and calling it work, because that is going to piss them off. Okay. It might be a guy that's on right now, and like, he's making his wife mad because he's like, going to town. But no, on a for real though, So let's see, which one do you guys want to go first? Kaylie or Katie?
I mean, we can all kind of like go off each other's ideas anyways, because I'm sure you'll think of something that I forget and whatnot.
You want to rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
And they both put scissors. You guys see, aren't we super organized?
I'll just start talking. She's the note taker, so she's probably got everything, and I just wing it. So, all right. So first off, the training was amazing, guys. This was like my first. I'd been wanting ever since I started. In my last company, I was kind of the one who. Well, first off, in my last company, you had to have parties. You had to get together. And when I first, switched over, I was like, this is so nice. Like, I don't have to do this. But ultimately, that's what I missed most, was the community, because that's my favorite part. And right in the beginning, I was kind of lost finding that. And I've been wanting to do a huge training like this since forever. And I just never did. I would once in a while have small little get-togethers, and I'll tell you right now, getting to those are going to pump you the heck up. I remember my first one, we drove to Connecticut. It was about 4 hours, I think. Packed in the car, had some people with us. Yeah.
I was there. Yep. I flew out there. Yep.
Got charged $70.
Went to Connecticut, and that was kind of the first event that I had been to that was Lavelle. Because my very first conference, I'll tell you right now, I joined in June. And so I missed the first conference, and that year I didn't end up going. And I regretted it big time and said, I will never, ever, ever miss one, because I had major FOMO. I was watching everybody, and, everything changes when you're in a room with people who actually get you, like, who know the struggles that you go through, who have been there, and you realize that you're no different. Like, you're no different than Amanda up there on the stage talking. And it's so crazy that literally getting to an event is going to make you realize that. So just get there. Like, do whatever you can to get to one of these events, whether it's, like Texas, a getaway. That's what got my husband on board, was realizing that, wait a minute, what? You do this? Like, meeting these guys that are by their wife's side, and they're doing this together. And they're like, yeah, I work in the business. And he goes, oh, well, I guess I better, I could do this too. So that's kind of what brought our relationship with business-wise closer, just because it was something we got to do together. It wasn't me, doing it on my own and then making time, and, it's fun. You get to do it together. And I'll tell you right now, the relationships that you form, they're just life-changing. Like, I can't even imagine, like, I'll tell you right now, the people that I'm close to now are people within this organization that I have met through this industry that I wouldn't even know. I would not even know if it wasn't for this. So that's my favorite part. And I'll tell you right now, I sign a lot of promoters more than customers, just because I'm so passionate about the company. And I really stress when I'm talking to people that, like, you're never alone, ever. like you like gain a family and a whole tribe of people who cheer you on and help you every single day. So that's one of my like key points that I talk to people about. And as far as these, trainings, or whether it's just a get together at your house, guys, it's so crazy because Ariana came to my house one day, like 2 weeks ago, and I'd been not in a funk, but like just whatever. And she comes over. It was right before the training, and that day we're just sitting, and it's so much fun when you're doing it with somebody else, and you can go back and forth. Like recently, we started power hours and stuff like that more, and it just gets your fire going. You feed off each other. So when, say, you're in a room with people and they're like pumped the heck up and they're sharing, the struggles, you're going to cry, you're going to laugh, all this stuff, you're going to just get inspired in ways that, I mean, yeah, sure, I could probably watch a video and get inspired, but it's so different when you're in a room full of like-minded people who just get it.
Well, and I think too, sometimes we're going through like, okay, a planning season, for example, right? And listen, guys, I'm going to be straight up with you. You can't call it a planning season when you're not planning. Okay?
Can you say that again real quick?
Yeah, I'll say it loud. You can't call it a planting season if you aren't planting, and don't expect a harvest from that non-planting season either, because it's not going to come, right? And I think sometimes we just need to be around people that we kind of remember like, I'm not doing my thing. And I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes the bigger you get in this organization, you can get veered off into different directions of things that you focus on, right? And while you're trying to help people, you can kind of sometimes lose yourself in this business. And I'm going to be honest with you, over the past year and a half, I had gone through that. And I had gone from being like massively enrolling guys, like massively enrolling and massively doing like incredible things, to I wasn't really signing a whole bunch of people. I was basically trying to drag people along because I had lost some leaders within my organization. I had some losses in my family, add on top me having my surgery, and I was a hot mess. And I was like, okay, like what should I be doing? And I was digging into all these different trainings, and I was spending a lot of money on all these different trainings. And you want me to tell you what all of these trainings taught me? Everything that I could learn from Google and YouTube, and basically just showing up and being consistent. And there is no replacement for hard work. There is no replacement for it. There is no replacement for your mindset getting in here and showing up on these Zooms. You can't use the excuse that you're alone, that you don't have anybody. We've got team pages, we've got chats, we've got Zooms all the time. I can tell you that we have that 14-day push going on right now, that every day there's a new task. Listen, if it's not up whenever you get up in the morning, don't worry. Do it before you go to bed, okay? Do it before, like the next morning, whenever you wake up. Whatever you've got to do, don't stress about the shit that's insignificant, okay? Like, I think so many times people get stuck on stuff and they don't know how to move forward. But I'm going to tell you the difference between people that are successful and people that aren't. People that are successful either find a solution or they keep moving, okay? They find the answers and they keep moving. They don't hang on to every like little negative thing or anything like that. Like they say, okay, well, this sucks. We're going to send a support ticket in. Okay, well, we're going to send a thing to compliance. Okay, we're going to move on. Like we're not going to harbor and sit there on the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Somebody's going to sign with somebody else on your team. All right. And they didn't sign with you. Whatever. Guess what? They signed with somebody on your team. Thank your lucky stars. They're still on your team. Okay. It happens. Like it sucks. Cross recruiting, things like that. Like that's shady. Turn it in, whatever. But like my point is that, the thing with this business though, is that you, like Kaylie said, you just get around these people and you're going to be fired up. You're going to see that vision. You're going to find like, holy crap, like I can do this too. And just being around each other, you get that energy and you remind yourself of what it is that you should be doing. And sometimes it reminds you of what you haven't been doing.
I was just gonna stop you and tell you and have you and say that because it's so true. Ashley always says, like, if you're the smartest one in the room, find a new room. Like, constantly be growing. I mean, we're still learning things to this day. So, you know, we even don't know it all. And we're just, you know, learning every day and growing and helping others as far as, you know, the things that we've been through. And what's funny is it's kind of like a eye opener. You're like, oh, dang, I could be doing that, or I wasn't doing that. And you grow from it and keep moving on.
So I want to say this before I ask Katie too.
I was going to piggyback off of something that you said, but go ahead. What?
Oh, I was going to say something that I can tell you with Katie and Kaylie is a couple things. Is that I'm a very observant person, and I can tell you that I'm like, okay, these girls are like kicking ass and they're enrolling like beast, and I'm like, okay, so I need to pay attention. What's going on here? They're both super consistent, but they're also both hungry to learn from people that are also successful. And they both have those key features. And if you pay attention, you'll see that. And you should be doing that too. You should be wanting to learn from people that are more successful than where you are and are where you want to be. And not be afraid to reach out to those people and ask them. Ask them for a tip or whatever it is that you're hungry for, that you need that extra guidance for. Before you lose your train of thought, Katie.
I have a note.
Shit, she's a note person.
I want to be like that. I'm so jealous of Kayla all the time. I tell her all the time. I'm like, I want to be like you, like that.
I'm totally not organized though. Like if I turn my camera around, you guys would be like, girlfriend, clean your best stuff. It's just like a little piece of paper.
Well, that's the thing though, is that we're all like uniquely, if you guys saw my work area, you'd be like, holy shit. Hurricane. It's okay.
Yeah, this is my desk. But I did want to piggyback off of what you said too, how like whenever you notice, so when you first started, you were like enrolling and all of a sudden you were like, holy shit, like what happened? Why are my enrollments down? And then you had to kind of like step back and look, where did your camera go? Is that just me? I can't see anything. Hang on, there we go. I think that people don't understand that like with new levels bring new devils, and people think like, oh, you're at 80K or you're at 200K. People just flock to you and it's easy for you. And it's like, I could walk up to somebody who has no idea what level is and say, hey, I'm at 200K. They're going to go, cool. Like, what? I don't care. So when you're coming into the business and you're brand new, instead of looking left and instead of looking right, like focus on what you're doing. You can't control who joins with you. Like, unfortunately, I wish we could, but you can control how many people you talk to. So if you have a goal, talk to so many people a day, as long as you accomplish that goal, even if it didn't enroll with you, you can still lay your head down that night and say, hey, I got what I was going to do. So like whenever I set a goal, it's not like, oh, enroll this many people, because then if I don't do it, it's not up to me if they join or not. And if I don't do it, then I feel like a failure. So my goal is talk to this many people a day, right? And then if you do have a team below you and you kind of notice like, hey, I'm more worried about my organization and what they're doing, and I'm more worried about making sure that they're getting their tasks done and they're following up and they're posting. You guys, you're losing sight of your own business, right? Like I make a goal, I want my PPA to be like the top 5-ish. I used to be number 1, and then we got some freaking rock stars coming in here, blowing me out of the water, making me look like the smoke shows coming in here, making me look like I'm an amateur, which is totally fine. I want my team to do amazing. I really do. But I have that goal to do that with them, so I don't lose sight of my own business. Your money, you guys, and some of y'all might need to hear this a few times, you're not going to make money in your team chat. Like, I see you both, you're like, no.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm like never, and I'm very quiet in team chats unless I'm like.
If you have to mention me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You have to, so we have like a thing in my chat where like you love on a few people's posts or whatever, and I'll go in there and I'll do those throughout the day, but like you guys, you are not making money in your team chats. Those people are already promoters, okay? if you're hanging out in there, and I love what Courtney said last week. She's like, we're not praying for your auntie, okay? Like, we are in there. We are, you know, business when we're growing our business, we're there to encourage each other and inspire each other, but don't hang out in there. Don't get in there, you know, caught up talking about your kids and your dogs and this person's sick and pray for me over here. You guys get out there, get in the field or the field, whatever, and get around like-minded people. And I think it's so funny that, I think it was Kaylie who said, you know, you get around these people who just lift you up. And if you look at your circle and you're like the one with the biggest goals, and you know you're in the wrong circle, okay? And you get to be surrounded by people. And I think this is so funny. I just want to share this because I told Amanda, like, when I first started this business, like little 4K Katie, I was like, oh my God, this is Amanda Arnett. Like, oh my God, I love her. Like, I want to meet her one day. For real though. And then I got to meet you in Mexico, and then I got in Syracuse, and it's so cool to sit side by side with Amanda and Lisa and Jamie Pekka and Chaz and these women who have made $1 million and like what dropping F-bombs and like losing their train of thought and cracking jokes. And you guys we're all people. We're all just trying to build a business and make an income for our families. And Amanda's no different than me, who's no different than Kaylie, who's no different than Danny. And we're all just, you guys, you have to get surrounded by these people who have like-minded, like goals or whatever. And because if you're the smartest one and you're the only one in your circle that's trying to up level, you're in the wrong damn circle. I'm just going to say that.
Well, no, and 100%. And I'll tell you guys, like, you want to make sure that you're staying focused too. And I'm glad you mentioned that about the team chats, because here's the reality, guys. And the same thing with team pages. You should go there, get what you need, and then move on. And the same thing, like a team chat, in my opinion, is, you know, maybe there's like, hey, I need some extra support. I have a real quick question, something like that. Okay, great. Maybe like you share hey, there's a Zoom tonight, jump on this, or a call or something like that. Like that's what team chats are utilized for. Maybe you throw up a task list or something like that. It just depends on the culture of how your chat is. Maybe you guys cheer each other on every time you get a customer. My chats are way too big. And it's chaotic, so that doesn't always work out the greatest. And you end up with 20,000 congratulations, you know, for somebody getting it. So you see where it can get problematic. Like the bigger the chat is, the harder it is to control. But I am one of those people that if I get in a chat and I get stuck, like I get stuck in there. So I have to just like, I put all my chats on mute. And unless I'm mentioned, a lot of times I'm not popping in, or if I see something has left and it hasn't been answered in a while, I'll go in. But I always suggest, you know, reaching out to person individually, whatever, ask in the team chat, but ask in the team pages as well, because there's always somebody seeing something, right? But really zoning in and getting focused on your daily tasks, like your own personal daily task. And I loved what you just said, Katie, talking about decide how many people you're going to talk to today. And guys, that doesn't necessarily have to be you in somebody's inbox following up with them. That is just spiking conversations, talking to new people. Like, reality of it is, the more people you get in front of, the more likely you are to position yourself in front of people that want your product. Okay. So that is like, it's such a moment. And I can tell you, Kayla Oliver even said something earlier today about Kaylie's stories. Well, Katie's is just as good. Like, they're like crazy awesome. We're going to have a whole nother Zoom about stories, because I know that people are hungry for it. However, the problem happens is some of you all are excited and want to learn all about stories, but you haven't even gotten consistent with your IPAs yet. So zone back before you start getting complicated and going into that next level and say, okay, am I adding people or talking to people every day? Am I being intentional about my follow-ups? Am I posting to my stories? Am I posting on my Instagram? Because I'll be honest with you guys, I was not being consistent with my Instagram. And I said, and I wasn't feeling it. Like something was a disconnect with it. Because I was trying to be like all pretty and proper and all of this stuff. And then I was like, I threw my hands up. A couple weeks ago, I threw my hands up and said, I'm just going to be me. You guys, my freaking Instagram has gone whoosh, like an electric, because I just started being me, and I quit being like trying to be so programmed on what I was doing. And the same thing with my post. If I feel something, I share it, I post it, right? But I'm being more intentional with putting myself out there. I got away from talking about Thrive. So I'm working it back into my stuff. Okay. And that takes.
I do want to say something too about the consistency. I shared this in my team page earlier, and it's called the popcorn effect. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but I watched this. It was like a little video, and it really kind of like sparked like my aha in me. And it's about a bag of popcorn, which is like an analogy to your business, and it's talking about how it's to do with consistency. Like if you put a bag of popcorn in the microwave for 3 minutes, okay, the popcorn is going to be your business. Now let's say you start the microwave, right, 3 minutes, and after 1 minute you stop the microwave. Okay, and then you decide to hit go again for another minute. Your popcorn's not going to pop because you can't decide, oh, I'm just going to be excited and I'm going to push start on my business for the next 1 minute because there's a free shipping weekend, and then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to take the popcorn out. Oh, but guess what? Now we get a free canister with shake, whatever, you know. Now I'm going to push the start button. I'm going to put my popcorn back in. And then now I'm going to stop because somebody said no. You guys, your popcorn is never going to pop. Like, you're never going to be able to feed your family. You're never going to have that whole bag of popcorn because you're inconsistent with it. That popcorn needs the full 3 minutes, the consistent amount of heat the entire time in order for it to be the most amount of popcorn that it's going to get. So ask yourself, you know, are you just putting start on your business because of a promo or because of credits or because, you know, are you working full time only on the weekends? Are you working full time only during promos? Are you working full time only when you signed up a promoter and now you think, oh, they're going to make me money and I'm going to work my business again, right? Are you working? Come on, it happens. It really happens. Like, oh, I lucked out and I signed a promoter. Now I'm going to work my business again. Like, you need to be consistent all the time. You need to be excited and consistent when there's no promos, when nobody is joining your team right now, when nobody's saying yes to you, when your interaction may be shitty and it sucks. Guess what? Stay consistent through it anyways. And then you're going to have that popcorn, so to speak. It is the consistent, like, same temperature. Every single minute, every single day of your business needs to be the same, no matter the results, because during that first 60 seconds, guess what? There's no popcorn, okay? So the first 60 seconds might be the first few months of your business. There's no popcorn. The second minute, you're like, okay, all right, pop, 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 a little bit of pop, 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 right? And that might be like month 4, 5, 6, right? Maybe you hit 4K, you know, you're going for 12K, whatever. And then that third minute, it's like, poo, 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 and you get the rest of your popcorn. You need to do that with your business. And I love that analogy. And y'all are probably like, this crazy ass woman.
No, it's like a perfect analogy, actually. It's kind of like you pulled a Kayla Fox on me here and like started talking about apples and red apples and green apples or something. But no, for real though. But like I suck at these kind of stories. All right, like it's totally.
I just heard it and it was so good and it was so freaking true because so many people push stop and then start and then stop and then start, and it's like, go to the gym for a week and then stop and then go back and then stop and then go back and then tell me if you're losing weight, or, you know, eat healthy for a week and then eat like shit for a week. How do you feel? Like, you have to be consistent literally in everything, like in everything. This is no different.
100%. And like, here's the thing, guys. How many of you, I don't know if you can raise your hand or whatever. How many of you think that you, if you actively grow your network every single day, raise your hand. Whew, I see a lot of hands not going up. Okay. I think that's one of our downfalls that's happening. I feel like there's a lot of people that are not growing their network every day. And maybe it's because you don't know how. Okay. And I'm going to be honest with you. Go to Google. No, listen, I'm not being a smart ass. I'm being honest here. I want you to go to Google and type in, how do I grow my social network? Okay. And the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because the whole idea behind network marketing, okay, is continue to grow your network. My network has grown over 2,000 since 2000. Okay, so oh boy, that's a lot of people quickly. Okay, so here's what I want to suggest. Okay, is that and I'm not saying anything bad, Denise. So what I want to say is this: I get about 20 to 30 new followers a day on Instagram. That's wonderful. You're doing something right, Jeannie. I don't know you, but you're doing something.
She's with me. She's amazing.
Okay, awesome. She's doing something right. To get 20 to 30 new followers every day on Instagram, she's being very intentional. Okay.
And I'll tell you even too how I grow mine. It's you guys you overthink it. Like people overcomplicate it. Like, oh, I don't know how to grow my network. And you guys find like-minded people. Okay, what are your fives list, right? Like what lights you up? What sets you on fire? And I think it was Courtney Glacier who said, what would you wake up in the morning and do for free every day for the rest of your life? Like that's your passion. And if you love, here's a little secret tip too. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I do to get some exposure on my videos. Go into groups, right, that have to do with what you like, whether it be keto or Instant Pot or DIY or mom, whatever, and go live on your social media and then share it into the appropriate groups. I used to go live on my Facebook with my Instant Pot. I love my Instant Pot. I'm a foodie. And I would share it into my Instant Pot groups, and I would get tens of thousands of views and comments on my video, and people would start adding me, and I would grow my network that way. Okay, so and then for like the visual eye, it looks to an outsider that people are sharing your video, even though you're the one that shared it. It looks like from an outsider's point of view that people are sharing your video and they're like, ooh, like maybe that video is worth watching, and then they're gonna watch it and then they're gonna comment on it. And then I grew my network that way on Facebook. Instagram's a whole different story.
100%. And I'll tell you, the thing is Facebook. Okay. So for Facebook, I'll tell you guys what I do. That's a good idea, is that like we just share like that little tip of something that we do personally. Right. So for me, I'll show you what I do. So I'll make a good post on my personal Facebook page. I'm in a lot of these weight loss groups, right? Because I had weight loss surgery. Right? See how that's relevant here, guys? Okay. So I had weight loss surgery. Today, I'm just going to type in my name so that it shows my post. And so I've been sharing my personal journey. I shared my before and after picture in the group. Got it, right? It had like 160 something people that liked it and tons of comments. And guess what you can see? You can see my Thrive DFT, but I didn't say anything. I shared another progress picture where I was like hanging upside down in my thing. How you guys saw that picture?
Jesus.
Cool. Interactive, right? I know. I was in a Phoenix.
Break my neck.
Look how cool that shit is. That's me. Anyway, I shared that in there because, again, I wanted to be relatable, right? So, like, I'm open about it. But guess what I also do? Because a lot of these people are afraid to friend each other in these groups. I'm like, straight up on my post, I'm like, hey, I share my journey publicly. I talk about it publicly. Feel free to follow me or friend me. Okay? I put it in my actual post. And then I'm like, tons of new followers, tons of new friends. Also, Made for More group, guys. Rachel Hollis's group, any type of networking group or group where people are learning personal development, like the Rise groups, so forth, right? Like I don't go through and friend just anybody, but I will join in on conversations. And if me and that person mesh, heck yeah, I'm going to shoot them a friend request. The worst thing that can happen is they can decline it, right? And to be honest with you, I don't even know if they decline it. So I send out friend requests there. I also, if I know somebody from my daughter's school, or like I'm in groups and stuff like that with like, her graduating class. The other day, you guys may have seen me sharing a player of the week thing. That's a mom from Layla's class that she's gone to school with. She messaged me, asked me if I'd share. Hell yeah, I'll share it. Like, here's the thing. It's like you want to give and be like a team player, right? To people locally as well. So then people are sharing that kind of stuff, and your name just gets out there. And people know you as somebody that also likes to network and somebody that's resourceful, and they'll come to you for certain stuff. I get tagged in those kind of things all the time. I'm also very, very, very active in my community pages. So like, we have a Fairmont community website. We also have like this group, this page is called the Rumor Mill, and all this stuff, right? And I will go on, I'll intentionally comment on these posts, because I don't know, because it helps people know who I am. And then guess what? People are friending me. People are following me because they're like, oh, who's this girl? I like what she had to say, and so forth. So that's my Facebook way.
Even if you're a mom too, I've met people. So like we have like a for the county that I'm in, like a mom's group, and I've posted in there like, hey, we just bought our house. I don't really know anybody. You know, here's my kids' ages. Does anybody want to have a play date? And now every Monday, this girl and I will take turns going to each other's houses, and she ordered the full experience. She started with a mini, she ordered the full experience, and I didn't have to say anything about Thrive. Literally nothing. She was like, oh, my kids are the same age. Got her on Facebook. And it took a few weeks going back and forth. We never said anything about it. Like, never said anything about it. And the one day she commented on my car, and she's like, oh, I really like your car. And I'm like, thanks, it's free. And she was like, what? And we talked about it. And then from there, it just went. And I had no, here's the thing, too, is I had no intention of selling to anybody. I literally wanted to connect with somebody. I wanted to connect with another mom in the area who has kids who are the same ages as mine. Or, you know, Amanda, you want to connect with people who are local, who do business and who love to network. It's not about who you can sell to, because, you know, I might know Susie Joe, and me and her are friends, and I have no intention of selling to Susie Joe at all. And all of a sudden, Susie Joe's friend is like, I'm trying to lose weight, and Susie Joe's like, girl, Kaylie can help you. And then Susie Joe's friend joins my team and goes 200K. So it's not necessarily about who you know. It's just network, you guys, because you don't know. You might make a friend who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's going to blow up your business.
Yep. What you just said there is like the biggest golden nugget, guys. It's not about who you know. It's about who you decide that you're networking with. And listen, your friends are going to network for you. Like we all refer, like we refer Starbucks drinks. We refer, if we go to a restaurant, we refer that cheesecake. That was absolutely so freaking so good. You know, like, I mean, the reality of it is that if you are being a good friend, right, and you're just a good person, like I'm joining all these classes in the gym and running and hanging upside doing crazy poses and all stuff. But guess what I'm doing? I'm meeting people every week, and they're seeing my face every single week. So every week I'm like adding a new person as a friend. I'm not trying to sell them about Thrive, but guess what? If they see what I have, like they may refer me, or they themselves might decide that they want to do this. And that's how I network outside of Facebook. Instagram, you guys, Instagram is probably the easiest place to network of all. And I'll tell you, hashtags, finding people that comment.
I do places. Like if I go someplace, I'm going to be honest, I don't do a lot of groups. I hate groups. I do not. I do mostly belly to belly. And yes, I've grown my entire business on social media by friending random people, and I always had a good response. I was always trying to make friends. So if I got that weird message in my inbox, hey, do I know you? Like, you know, those weird messages you get where you feel like a creeper, but you're really not. You're just trying to network and make friends. So I always had a good comeback of just being like, you know, hey, and I always scope out the people first. Guys, you don't want to be adding random people that are negative and swearing and whatever.
Yes, people who do nothing but like share dirty memes and stuff. Like I don't want to on my page.
Be picky with who you add, you know. Make sure you don't have mutual friends with teammates and stuff. So what I personally do, once I find somebody, like I might then start to like go through their friends list a little bit if I find someone, but I'm picky. I look through, I see if they have kids. So when I do get that message and they're like, oh, hey, do I know you? I'm like, oh my gosh, we have kids around the same age. And I'm just, you know, trying to make friends on Facebook and whatever the case may be. But as far as Instagram, if I go someplace, I'll go to that. What are you laughing at?
I just did a Zoom on you, and it's like, oh, hey, do I know you? And it keeps on just repeating it. Sorry.
But on Instagram, if we go, like, say we go to Sky Zone, take the kids. When you tag, I always tag where I am. And then you can click on that and go through people that have been there and their posts. And that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way. But as far as adding people, I'm always, no matter where I go,
Yep.
if like we went to Golden Corral and the waitress started talking about, I don't even know what the conversation was, instantly added her. Like, I literally hand people my phone. Oh my God, do you have Facebook? Hand them my phone for them to type their name in. Guys, it's not hard. Just, you have to, don't be scared. Don't overcomplicate it. You know what you have your hands on. Like, you can literally wear it. Like, people can see it. It's the best conversation starter ever.
Emily just said that too. How she built her IG to 11.3 thousand is through places on IG. It is the easiest way to grow. I mean, listen, you can do it through hashtags. You can do it through, like, I follow certain hashtags and then I'll end up following and liking and whatever people. I don't generally actually search out hashtags as much now because I just follow those certain hashtags and I'm checking my newsfeed and I'm doing my interaction and so forth. And I just hit the follow on people that I really am liking and they're using that hashtag that I love. But also places. That is like a golden goose, guys. And I think a lot of people are not utilizing it, but think about where your ideal people would be, right? What are they looking for? What are they doing? And that is such a golden opportunity for you to be networking. And this time, listen, what is next month? What is next month?
February.
Do you know? Huh?
February.
Oh, no. What is next month? What happens in next month? Like maybe the second week of the month. What happens? Come on.
Valentine's Day?
Did you hear it? Andrew
What?
said taxes come back.
Yes.
That's why I exploded, girl.
But
Listen, that's not fair. You're talking to a bunch of people who probably pay taxes. We don't pay attention to that.
Amanda,
What?
when I was going for my MVP bonus, I'll tell you right now, I reached out to so many people. Guys, I was $234 away. And I was like, I am
And
not.
she was like Satan, let me tell you. I was scared.
I was like, I'm reaching out to every single person I've ever talked to about Thrive, whatever. And I'll tell you right now, this morning, all those people are coming back. All of those messages I sent out, and I'll tell you, as soon as they get their taxes, it's game on. Like,
listen, and Kaylie, I'm going to tell you this too, guys. Each one of you, listen. Kaylie messaged me and said, how's your number? Or how close are you? Right?
pump me up.
And I'm going to tell you the difference between somebody that hit their MVP bonus and somebody that didn't. I said, oh man, I went to bed. And I didn't hit my MVP bonus. But Kaylie kept on going and she kept on pushing. And you
6 minutes. I had
I didn't want to have 3 hours of sleep. That was impressive.
and you know what? The thing is like I needed to be reminded of that too. I needed to be reminded of, oh, you know what? I didn't get this because I quit pushing. And the same thing goes for end of the month. Some of you guys are going to let off the gas right now. You're going to let off the gas because you're nowhere damn near where you need to be by the end of the month. You're like, oh, I'm not going to hit 12K because I'm sitting at like 5,000. There's no way I'm going to go close to it. Or
Can I tell you, though, that is such bullshit that people do that? Because I remember in February February 2018, I think, I had 2 women on my team, Brittany Haynes and Chrissy Ken, and they were both at like 7,500 in volume. Now, mind you, this was February, okay, so it's a short month. There was 28 days. It was no leap year, 28 days in the month, and they had like 3 days left. They were both sitting at 7,500, 8,000, whatever. Okay, so they needed like around 4,000 in volume each in like 3 days, and they both freaking nailed it and went above and beyond. And I'm pretty sure they both ended at like 13 or 14.
Yep.
So if you're 1,000 away or 2,000 away, and you're like, well, there's no way I can bring all that in. My bullshit. You say you're not going to bring it in. Well, guess what? You're not going to bring it in. Okay. What you tell yourself is what's going to happen. When you tell yourself, I can't do it, subconsciously, you're going to let off the gas and you're not going to take the steps that you need to do it because you don't think you can. So when you tell yourself, I'm going to do it, you're going to just like naturally put forth that effort because in your mind, like there's no other way. There's no other option. So when they were both like 3 days left of the month, they're like, we're going to, and I'm going to be real honest, like, in my mind, I was like, well, okay, like,
but
yeah,
when you
you
make
can do
that
it.
decision, but when you make that decision that you're going to do it and that it's happening, like, dude, you'll make anything happen, because especially if you link on with some other people that are also fighting. And Jessica Curtright, I am going to break your fingers if I see you type, I just am going for this. I am just, quit saying you're just going for anything. That's like saying I'm just going to be VIP 100. I'm just going to be 4K. I'm just going to be 12. Like, quit, take that language out of your mouth. Like, I'm going to beat you. You know me.
Take that language out of your mouth.
Yeah. Like, the thing is that you guys have to quit setting limits on yourself, and you have to start like believing and putting that out there. Like, just like, you know, Katie was talking at the very beginning before we hit the record on this, about her doing the 555 challenge. And you guys, the reality of it is that the more you say something, just like I said, I had put my goal of the $40,000 a month, you know, on my bathroom mirror. I had put out there, guys, I have the message saved because I just came across not long ago that I was going to earn $1 million in network marketing. And I mean, I've made over $2 million in network marketing in the 7 years that I've been doing it. And the reality of it is that we each 100% set our own limits. Okay. No matter what, I don't care where you grew up. I don't care what your background is. Not a single person on this Zoom right now is any different than Mari Dillard, okay? But I'm going to tell you this, because I've seen that woman work, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. She will run circles around pretty much probably every single one of us. She is very consistent. She is very driven. She is very motivated. And you can't compare your same results if you're not going to be that same motivation, that same drive. Like, I'm going to tell you, I've been on this journey right now, of this health journey and this running. You guys, I've never been a runner. I quit telling myself that I'm not a runner. And I told myself I'm going to run this half marathon. And I keep on telling myself. And when I start running every day, I'm like, God, I gotta pee. God, this sucks. Nobody's gonna know if I just stop. What if I just hit pause for a minute? Like, can I just like go walk around? But then I'm like, God damn it, Amanda, I've got to keep.
So amazing though after.
Yeah, I'm like, I just keep pushing, and then I get closer and closer and closer. And as I approach my goal for the day, I'm like, I'm just going to push a little bit harder. I'm just going to run a little bit longer, and I'm just going to keep on going. And you guys, when you do that, you're going to find yourself like your power hours, whatever it might be. You say, you know what, you want to message 10 people, you message those 10 people, and then you're like on the roll, and you go and you message 5 more. And the same thing every single day, you get fired up. Like, and listen, personal development is personal. Listen to that again. Personal development is personal. Okay. So like, if you are struggling with negative self-talk, then go do personal development on negative self-talk. Go spend 15 minutes on it, come back and practice doing some affirmations after that.
Can
Right?
I say something real quick too?
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in self-development. Don't think, like, please, and I mean that like nicely. So many people are like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, I listened to like 17 podcasts today, and I read out of my book, and I watched the Zoom training from last night, and I'm not making any money. And I'm just like, did you do anything though? So like, did you do anything? For every hour, here's like my own kind of rule. For every hour I do of personal development, I'm matching that with an hour of action.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I do my hour. I have my 100 Days to Brave I'm doing, which is great. I read, whether it be listening to a Zoom. And then I do a power hour. Then I do my power hour. And then I take my son to Taekwondo, and it's half an hour there, half an hour back. And I'm listening to something in my car. There's my hour of personal development. I get home, and I power hour. I usually do 2. Obviously, not everybody can sit down for like one consistent hour, and you kind of have to work within your nooks and your crannies every day. But that's just what works best for me. Don't get caught up in just listening to podcasts and reading your book and journaling, and all those things are great. And I don't want to like, I want to discredit those.
And Zoom or stuff like that when I'm like doing stuff that I can't be, like when I'm driving, or you know, even sometimes when I'm in the shower, like I'll just put it on and like blast it up, right? taking a bath or whatever, because those are times that I'm not really able to use my hands anyways, and I've got other stuff that I've got to do. But you could still listen. And the thing is like, I'm so glad you said that. You do it, and then you put in some action. And the thing is, guys, is like, I think that's one thing that we, especially in Syracuse, we were all kind of talking about, is that the action, wasn't happening. And I think also, especially wintertime, people get into this weird place of their checks drop, people aren't joining, people aren't signing or whatever. Listen, y'all, no matter what business you're in, okay, listen to me very clearly here. You create your own momentum. And it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, okay? But with that said, you cannot make people join you, okay? They're going to join you when they're ready to join you. So what is your answer then? To go find new people, okay? Like, quit worrying about Sally, who said that she was going to join you last month, and Sally keeps on ignoring your messages, okay? Screw Sally. Keep on moving.
I think we had touched on that too at Syracuse, and I had said, so many people are like, oh, well, I'm going to go 4K, and I have like 3 people that are on the fence, and I'm just waiting for these 3 people to order, and I'm just waiting for this one person to talk to their husband. And it's like, you're going to be waiting forever for some people, and maybe some people will come around, and maybe a few weeks from now, a few months from now, they're going to start. That's fine. But don't wait for nobody. Like I literally wait for nobody. If I'm talking to you and you're like, I want to do it, I'm just not ready, I'm like, okay, like, goodbye, let me know when you're ready. And I'm just not rude, but really, right. Like, I have lives to change. I have other people to talk to. And, I had said with Kaylie there, I said, maybe Kaylie, is my next 200K, but I'm too busy facing so-and-so over here who's got to talk to her skeptical husband who tells me she doesn't have any money, but she's going out and getting her nails done every 2 weeks, And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with getting your nails done. I mean, people's priorities are always going to be different, but I'm not going to get hung up on this person over here who's giving me the ring around, because while I'm looking this way, my next rock star is over here crying themselves to sleep, wondering how they're going to pay their bills, or how they're going to put food in their fridge, or take care of their kids, or buy diapers. And I'm too hung up on people who probably have no intention of starting anyways, because they're giving me the ring around their excuses.
Yeah. And that's something too that we also talked about, guys, in Syracuse, and these stories of hearing people's backgrounds. I shared a little bit of my why, and that was a bit emotional, but if Katie, if you heard our stories and you understood the things, and Lisa too, I see Lisa's on here right now too. And she told you the times that, her car didn't even work right. And like, she was like freezing windows and trying to, and working like crazy hours as a waitress and trying to scrape up enough money just to like have a holiday or whatever. The thing is that honestly, some people would have folded. Some people wouldn't be able to keep on going and make it through some of the stuff. And it's not because you're weak, but because it's easier to throw in the towel when things get hard, right? And the same thing for your business. But guess what? You got to let it go, and you got to say, you know what? But now's the time. And I'm going to tell you guys, we have come together so much on the Dream Team 2020 page, okay? So much. Like these push tasks that are coming out right now every day. You guys, they're simple. All right. If you're not doing them, you need to call yourself out. Like, these things are super duper simple for you to be doing. We're getting ready to get on a Zoom here in about 6 minutes with Lisa, and we're launching something on February 1st. And you're going to want to be part of all of this, right? You're going to want to take action. You're going to want to make this happen, because if not, you're going to be really pissed off when everybody in your town's getting their income tax check and joining with other people. Because you were afraid.
And a lot of people right now, you might have like one foot in and one foot out and be unsure still if you can even do this or want this. And that's the thing, guys. You have to be all in. Like, from the day I joined, I knew I needed this. I literally was on the phone with Lisa, bawling my eyes out. And I said, Lisa, I need to make this much. Can I do that? Absolutely. Guess what, guys? I didn't wait around for someone to help me do this. You have all the tools. Just do it. I hate telling people I earned my VIP and my 4K and all of that in 4 days because it's just not the norm. But guess what? I needed that. So
Yeah.
I made it happen. You can only motivate people so much. So be your own runner. Those people will come. I promise.
I heard too from Aaron Aponte. He said, work this business like somebody's trying to steal it from you.
Yes.
You know, and if I were to come up to you, any single person on here, whether, you know, if maybe you're a mom, okay, let's just say I'm talking to moms right now, and I were to come up to you and I were to say, tomorrow, 24 hours from now, like, I'm taking your kid, right? And this is extreme, obviously. I'm taking your kid 24 hours from now if you're not thriving for free. Guess what? You're going to be out there and you're going to be thriving for free by this time tomorrow. And for me, that's what it was. I mean, nobody was coming to take my kid, obviously, but it was like, if this don't work, like, then what? Who's going to put diapers on my kid's butt? Who's going to help buy groceries? Who's going to put gas in my car? I literally, you know, my bank account was dwindling. We had close to nothing. And I wanted this business and I needed this business the way that I need air to breathe. So whatever is most important to you, is it your kids? Is it your car? Is it, you know, find something that's important to you. Someone's coming after it. Someone's coming to get it. If you're not thriving for free by the end of this month, or you don't hit your goals by the end of this month, and maybe you don't do it if you don't end up hitting your goals, like, don't be too hard on yourselves, but at least you can say, I gave it everything that I had.
Mm-hmm. And that comes down to your why. Guys, you need to figure that out. Your why, I mean, my why has changed a million times since starting in the beginning. And, you know, I grew super fast. My why was different from when I started than it is now. I'll tell you right now, just to kind of give you the background, grew so fast. Guess what? I dropped off for a few months. I went back to work because I was scared for 3 months. And then I realized, what the hell am I doing? Why am I working and why am I paying for daycare for my son? Absolutely not. And I got my shit together, and guess what? Then that next summer, I went 80K. And it's a mindset thing, and you have to just lean on the people too. Like, guys, you have a whole tribe here. Like, you know, if I'm having, you know, a bad day, I will, you know, just reach out to someone, talk to it first, get it out, cry about it, and then get back to work. Like, you know.
Well, and that's just the thing, is that the boom is coming. It comes every year, same time, February through like the end of June. Honestly, I'm gonna say.
I'd say August, because that's.
Yeah, I would even say August. I mean, the thing is, August, if you continue to not let up the gas, right? So the thing is that some of you guys aren't having that harvest. Like I was telling you, if you're not planting the seeds, you're not going to have the harvest, right? So like Katie even she did a live the other day and even mentioned this, guys, is like your next 90 days is going to be huge. What you did the last 90 days, say if you were unplugged, you were not connecting, you weren't talking, you weren't staying consistent, you've got a lot of making up to do now, right? But the good news is, if you're showing up now, right now, this is when people are going to be getting their income tax checks back. This is when people are starting to fall off the wagon for their New Year's resolution goals. This is when people are booking their summer vacations and they're like, oh shit, I better get moving and really start taking myself serious. Like, this is the most opportune time of the year right now for you to say, you know what, I'm going for it. And I joined in January. And yes, guys, I grew very rapidly, but I think about this often because I really didn't bring very many people over from my previous company, like knowingly. Like, did they join me? Yes, because they followed me and they watched me. Yes. Okay. But it wasn't like, oh my God, Amanda came in and like had all these people like planning to join her. And I didn't know who the hell was going to join me. It was a total risk when I joined. Right. But I can tell you one thing, that when I look back at my actions of what I was doing, I was bold. I was confident. I was excited. I was putting it out there every day, not giving two shits what anybody else thought. And I just did the thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you're bold, and you go after it, and you don't worry who unfriends you. You don't spam your news feed, okay? Like, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying here, and don't go like all crazy, like Thrive every 5 seconds and make me unfollow you, please. Like, be you. Like, you've got to make sure that you are being you, but be confident in what it is that you have. Be positive. Be focused on helping other people achieve, getting the products for free, finding their solutions, screenshot messages if you're not sure how to have those conversations, post it in the team page, post it in the team chats, reach out to your upline, whatever it might be. And yeah, just like Lisa said, and she hopped off of this one because she's got to get on the other Zoom, is the reality of it is that you guys, we've got some different team promotions that are going to be going on in February. You're not going to want to miss. I'm going to shut up about them because I'll end up telling you more than I should. But it's going to be a lot of really fun stuff that you're going to want to hit the gas pedal for, and you're going to want to run. Some of you guys have lost ranks. Guess what? It happens. It happens. But you're going to come back, if you choose, stronger and better and harder and faster, and you are going to not regret that, right? But you've got to keep on linking up. Don't worry about the people that aren't working. Don't worry about the people that aren't focused. Just stay zoned in. I can tell you myself, Kaylie, Katie, Danny, like, we're here. We're going to keep showing up. And I hope that each one of you guys keep on showing up. Is there anything, Kaylie or Katie, that you want to say or add? And then we've got to hop on that.
I think I would just say, you don't want to be that person in 6 months from now saying, like, what if I didn't give up? Mm-hmm. What if I would have stayed consistent? What if I would have kept working? After conference, when you see people coming home and popping 12Ks and 40Ks and whatever else is released, you don't want to be sitting there going, man, I really wish I would have worked in the first quarter. You don't want that person to be you.
Yeah, because the first quarter is when that momentum's going to start, guys. Like, that's when it's going to be like, boom, 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 boom. And then throw it in the second quarter. I mean, Jesus.
Your next 200K could all of a sudden you not post for one weekend and they think that you quit or that you're not doing it anymore, and they see someone else's post and boom. You want to be that person that when they think Thrive, look out, they think of you. Like, they think of you, of coming to you. So don't miss out, because there's lots of exciting things coming. And I'll tell you right now, get to conference, guys. Every single one of my people who made it to conference promoted to 12K. Yeah. Every single one.
Yeah, we have, there's about 100 people, I think, from like my team right now that is going. And I'm going to be honest with you. The people that go are the ones who normally end up promoting and that have that fire. And listen, some of you guys are saying, I don't want to beat you down, because I know some of you guys can't make it, right? But here's the reality. There's probably might be a live stream. Nothing replaces, like, it's some stuff you can't feel online. Okay. So I encourage you to look for an event. I encourage you to attempt to try to get to conference, because it is powerful. Room with a whole bunch of people. You're going to find a lot of people are going to be looking for roommates. But I can promise you this, regardless if you're going to conference or you're not, make the decision right now to buckle down, take your business seriously, no matter what you've been doing. Okay. No matter what you've been doing, because you can only change going forward if you decide to start that change now. Right. So I love you guys, everybody. I hope it has a good night, and cool, it's past my bedtime and I got to get on another Zoom.
I know, they're all looking for us.
I know. I'm so tired, and I'm like, be right there.
I know. All right. Love you guys. Everybody have a good night. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Kaylie.
Bye.
Bye.